Hello everyone. Welcome to the solution of LeetCode problem 929 named unique email addresses. In this problem, every valid email address consists a local name and a domain name, which is separated by the @ sign. Besides lowercase letters, the email may contain one or more period or plus sign. For example, if we took consideration this first email, here the email is alice@leetcode.com. Here Alice is the local name and leetcode.com, which is after the asterisk sign, is the domain name. Now, there are certain rules such that if you add periods between some characters in the local name, the mail sent there will be forwarded to the same address without dots in the local name. That means if I add period in the local name, which is alice.z, here simply this dot or period will be ignored. So the resulting email address will be alice, then z. Let's notice there is no period between them. Then after that, @leetcode.com. So this is one possible way of generating email. Another rule is that if you add a plus sign in the local name, then everything after this plus sign will be ignored. And this allows certain email to be filtered. Note that this rule does not apply to the domain names. That means the domain names, which is after this @ sign, must be exactly as it is. We cannot change or alter these domain names. Suppose if we have the plus sign in an email, that means after this plus sign, all of the character will be excluded. So here the email is m.y plus name @email.com. So here this portion, which is plus name, will be ignored and dot will be ignored. So the resultant email will be only my@email.com. So here we can use both of the rules at the same time. So now we are given a string of emails where we have to we have to return the number of different emails we can receive in this list of emails. In the first example, the email is test.email plus alex@leetcode.com. This is the first email. So after processing it, the dot will be removed and the plus alex will be removed. The resulting email will be testemail@leetcode.com. Now, in the second email and in the third email, if we apply the above two conditions, then the email will be testemail@lee.tcode.com. So here we can see that this list of emails consists of two unique emails. So in this case, we have to return 2. I hope you understood the example. Now let's move on to the algorithm. Now, for the simplicity of algorithm, we have taken the first example. Here, it has 3 of the emails. So the condition is for each of the email, we have to run a loop from left to right. And if we found the letter period, which is here, we have to simply ignore it. And if we find this letter plus, we have to discard all of the element after this plus until this asterisk signs occurs. So here If we perform the operations into the first string, the email will be test email @ LeetCode.com, because here we have extracted all of the value which appears after the plus sign and we have ignored the sign period. Now, for the second email, we have to ignore this period, and all of the character after this plus sign. So we have to ignore all of this. Now, if we simply calculate the resultant email, the email will be test email @ LeetCode.com. So it is the second email we should get. Now, for this third email, we have to ignore all of the element that appears after this plus sign. So the resultant email will be test email @ lee.tcode.com. So here we have noticed that both of the emails are exactly similar. So we have to count both of them as only one. And this is the another email. So we can say that in this test case, the answer will be 2, which is this email and this email. So this is the algorithm. This is a very straightforward algorithm. I am wrapping up the algorithm here. For each of the character in the email, we have to check whether the current element is period or not. If our current element is period, then we have to simply ignore it. Otherwise, we have to check if the current period is plus or not. If our current period is plus, then we have to simply ignore the rest of the element until this at occurs. After that, we have to generate the resultant email and find the unique number of emails. We can do it by using set. I hope you understood the algorithm. Now let's move on to the code. In this problem, the code is pretty simple. At first, we are given a function named num unique emails. Here, initially the answer is 0. Actually, we don't need answer here, so we can simply ignore it. Then we are taking a set of strings and we have to iterate each of the emails in the given list. Now, for each of the emails, we have to iterate each of the character. And before that, we have to declare a temporary string. Now, we have to check whether our current character is empty or not. If our current character is empty, then we have to simply continue. Otherwise, we have to check if our current character is plus or at sign or not. If it is, then we have to simply break the inner loop. Otherwise, we have to append the corresponding character to the temporary vector, the temporary variable. Now, after the inner loop completes, we have to append the remaining parts after the at sign. So we are using the substring method. After that, we have to insert this string into the set and finally return the size of the set. I hope you understood the code. Now let's move on to the time and space complexity analysis of this program. In this program, the time complexity is big O of n into m because we are using the nested loops, and here n is the size of the input list and m is the size of the highest string. And the space complexity is big O of n because in the worst case, the size of the set can be equal to the size of the input. So here the space complexity is big O of n. Thank you everyone for watching this video. We will get back soon with another LeetCode solution.